really?
3 and even 4-year-olds
Really?
that are reaching out saying, "Hey, I saw this Mark Carney YouTube commercial and it's telling me to buy Bitcoin." And I'm like, "What?" And then I swear to God, that's a real one. And then
Oh,
it is. Well, I'm talking to my financial advisor on WhatsApp here, and I've invested $5,000, $10,000, and it's turned into 10, 20, 30, and now they need more money to get the security
oh my
process
God.
completed. They're actually getting coached, physically coached, to come to our company and say, "Hey, we want to buy 50,000 or $100,000 of Bitcoin from myself." Yeah. So, welcome to the podcast. What's the name of our channel again?
Proof of work, I believe.
Proof of work. So we're putting in the proof of work today. It's been a while since we've been here, but Nick's back from holidays. We're in Edmonton, Alberta. It's about to snow. Price of Bitcoin is $110,057.
Is it actually about to snow? That's all I
I
heard
think
from that.
I
Is
feel
it?
like it's
That's not good. Okay, we're gonna move to Florida eventually here. So
I think we're moving to
just
El
for the record.
Salvador.
Well, either way, yeah, sure. Either one's better, but
Yeah. So maybe tell us a little bit about your Bitcoin experience in Germany.
yeah. Went to the kind of the main Bitcoin tech conference, Bitcoin Plus Plus, the first Lightning edition in Berlin. Interestingly enough, I was planned the vacation and everything with the family, and that happened to pop up to me anyhow after everything was planned, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm going because we were exactly in Berlin those days. So I went for probably 2/3 of it. Like it was 3 days, and I still did some stuff with the family, obviously. But yeah, I did some stuff in Berlin and went to that, and it was definitely over my head. The conference for the most part, like there was a lot of stuff I got out of it, but at the same time, it's a conference that's more tech focused, which I knew going into it. But it was good. It was cool to meet lots of the developers and whatnot in the space, and lots.
Did you get to pay with Bitcoin a bunch in Germany or not really?
Not really. Tried a few times. At one particular place I tried, and it was an old lady across the desk, and they said they had the Bitcoin sign on the cashier and whatnot, and no, she was like, "I'm not." No, I'm like, "It's
No
not
one knows.
hard," but so it's early there too, of course, but no, the conference was pretty cool. It was cool to see it. It was and all the like the stuff in the works in the on the Lightning network and whatnot is truly insane. Like it's impressive. So
Nice. Looks like we got another person joining
yeah,
in.
I see that.
Named Murdoch. I don't know if he's ready to talk or
I'm
not.
not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, that's all good, buddy. That's all good. So I guess when you were on your holidays, and at the Bitcoin conference, you got to experience the biggest candle of all time.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was the wrong direction, but yes, I did.
I know I know under our notes we've got a little bit about market manipulation and leverage lessons. So I know
Yeah.
that I didn't have any leverage on because I'm not a leverage guy. But what's your take on? I mean, I've heard lots of opinions and different theories on what happened on that Friday. But what's your 2 cents on that?
I haven't looked into it in detail enough to know exactly, but I suspect I've heard stories of a whale putting a short position on 30 minutes prior to it and a fairly big short position. It was 100 million plus, I think. So I mean, I that's a little suspicious, just a little. And I mean, the Trump administration, I think, is definitely some people in the administration are definitely manipulating it to their ends. They're trying to pack their bags, I think, prior to the run up here to the rally.
Yeah, no, no.
That would
I
be
think what I learned from it the most was that in order to get to price discovery, that we actually have to liquidate the longs and the shorts at the same time. So there was roughly about 19 billion that I heard they got liquidated in that specific day. A lot of it was on hyperliquid, probably close to 10 or 12 billion of it,
oh, okay.
which is shitcoin leverage bets, which I've had some friends show me how that works, and that's something I don't want to be involved in, and I don't suggest anybody watching this gets involved in that stuff as well. But in order for us to actually be able to go to a higher price, we've got to get rid of the longs, because Binance and Kraken and different exchanges actually don't want to be able to have to pay out on those leverage bets. So when you're on a 20x leverage long on Bitcoin, and if the price were to go up to 130 or 140, and we discovered a new all-time high, that they literally couldn't afford, like the exchanges, to be able to pay out on those longs. But hence the manipulation comes in the notes that we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah.
And we actually have to go down to 103, 104. Some places it was 99.8. It actually dipped under 100 on some of the exchanges.
Oh, okay.
And that's necessary because we have to liquidate those people out of the market, because 19 billion is a lot of leverage. It's not a small amount when you're talking about the $2 trillion market. So yeah, in order to do that, like it's actually very healthy for the market to get rid of these things, these longs, so that we can actually go ahead and proceed further into the price discovery.
Yeah, so I would say that's much like the stock market with their longs and shorts. If a big hedge fund shorts or long something, they obviously have incentive to keep that price from doing whatever they don't want it to do. So I would say it's much the same that way, but it doesn't mean it can't blow through that. It's just the money that is going to be put into keeping it below that. Can we get Murph to mute his thing? Perfect. If the money is there to make it rally through that, and they can't keep keeping it down, like keep tamping it down, then it's just gonna wipe them out, right? And that's where you see big bankruptcies and whatnot in these hedge funds and whatnot on the regular stock market. So I would hesitate to say it can go through it. It just takes a lot more momentum, right? And we don't have that momentum right now. That would be how I'd look at it.
No retail involved at this point yet. It seems like retail is sitting on the back seat and just waiting to come in, but they're not around, and we've got all these Bitcoin treasury companies kind of taking care of making sure that we stay at this nice price of 110,000, which I'm totally fine with. I don't have a problem with this price. It's a good number to be at, and I think the longer we're here, the higher we go in the future. Any price predictions for end of 2025 from Nick, just to get on the air here? Maybe we make a quick bet.
Oh yeah, we have a bet. I don't even know what it was from before, but
we can always update the bet.
Update the bet. Oh shit! You throw a number out. I have.
I'm gonna go. I'll go 175 by the end of the year. 2025. 175 American. Obviously, we're talking American.
I'll take. Oh shoot! I'll take the under on that.
I'll take the under on that.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll take the under on that.
Burger and a beer.
Sure. Sounds good. Write her down. Yeah.
We got it marked on YouTube, so now now we can't go back and we can rewind and listen.
Sure. On this Bitcoin, obviously, gold's been the big story lately. It's been ripping like mad, and I mean, the trader brain in me says, sell that Bitcoin and buy gold. So that's the trader brain. I mean, to a degree, but the common sense brain in me says gold's ripped. Usually Bitcoin follows. So, and usually Bitcoin outperforms when it follows. So we'll see. Although there are on the flip side to that, there's a lot of central banks buying gold and whatnot around the world. The macro, Luke Roman, shout out to Luke Roman on macroeconomics and the Bitcoin and gold markets. He is a master at understanding this stuff, and probably the best in the world that I know of, anyhow.
Yeah.
And he thinks gold's gonna go a lot higher yet, like a lot higher. So
yeah, I think I heard him yesterday on a podcast say 8,000 to 10,000.
Yeah, I've heard 20. I've heard him say 20,000. Yeah, I've heard 20. I've heard the number 40 floated around, but I think that's like the reaching now. That's like $1 million Bitcoin, right? That's the reaching for the cycle or whatever.
Well, so, what happens when Bitcoin, or I say when gold goes to 5,000 and the American government has these certificates at $43 an ounce? Are they just going to transfer that into spot gold, sell it, and then buy Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to know what their game plan is for sure, but though I've definitely heard that has been floated on official channels in the U.S. government. That exact thing. I don't know. I can't remember exactly who said it, and this and that, and the next thing because it's been a few months since I heard that. But yes, that's been floated for sure. So who
It's
knows if
going to
that
be
they?
interesting times ahead.
Yeah,
That is for certain.
yeah.
I don't think I definitely wouldn't short gold at this moment.
No,
think
no.
I think hard money between Bitcoin and gold
Yeah.
are going to see the action. 2 days ago, you saw that the big news on all the Bitcoin YouTube channels was that people were flipping from gold to Bitcoin because Bitcoin was up 3% and gold was down 5%. So there was this big talk online that was the point in which people said, okay, well, I've made enough on my gold,
Oh, okay.
investment,
You think
and now
that's
we're
how
going to
it's
flip
gonna?
it into Bitcoin.
You think
And
that's
there
how
was
it's gonna?
actually a correlation between how much gold was down and how much Bitcoin was up, which was
That would be interesting. I haven't heard anything along those lines yet. But yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that plays out. I think it's just going to be a hard money next 5 years, kind of 5, maybe 10 years. That's
50.
my. It's pretty hard to look 50 years out in my world, but
Yeah,
maybe.
no, fair point. I guess one of the other things to talk about was scams. What are you hearing out there these days? Because I got a lot of opinions on this.
Yeah, well, this is more up your alley, probably on where you've heard. But I heard Vancouver. There's a company out of Vancouver. Let me look here. Cryptomus is one of the names of it. I think there's a number of names of it. But anyhow, it was a federally regulated security exchange. One of the guys in Vancouver in the Bitcoin space, he had a CBC interview with Stephen Quinn just a few days ago. I'm sure you can YouTube it. Jarrett was the guy's name, and the title is FinTrack levies largest fine against the BC crypto firm. Anyhow, this exchange, I don't have many details, but it basically scammed a whole bunch of people. And I guess if you watch this interview, which I recommend, it's 7 minutes. It's nothing, but it's relevant to Bitcoin and the ecosystem. There's a lot of scams out there, and the mainstream media in Canada here is definitely not where it should be on accepting Bitcoin for what it is, and you'll get that distinct impression if you watch the Stephen Quinn's
Yeah,
questions.
I'll definitely take a watch. I guess just on my 2 cents from my personal experience. I work for a company called Cash to Crypto, and we do over-the-counter Bitcoin purchases. And my typical customer is anywhere between the ages of 60 and almost up to 85. I've got a couple of
Really,
83 and 84-year-olds
really.
that are reaching out saying, "Hey, I saw this Mark Carney YouTube commercial, and it's telling me to buy Bitcoin." And I'm like, "What?" And then I swear to God, that's a real one. And then
Oh,
it is. Well, I'm talking to my financial advisor on WhatsApp here, and I've invested $5,000, $10,000, and it's turned into 10, 20, 30, and now they need more money to get the security process completed, so that now they're actually getting coached, physically coached, to come to our company and say, hey, we want to buy 50,000 or $100,000 of Bitcoin from myself. And as I'm talking to these, 82-year-old, mostly men, some women from across all of Canada, a lot of it in Eastern Canada, out in Ontario and Quebec, seems to be very rampant at this moment. And I asked them, like, what kind of wallet do you have? And they're like, oh, I don't know. What do you mean? I think I have an Exodus wallet. And I'm like, well, that's not good. They don't have cold storage. They're looking to buy $100,000 of Bitcoin on average, and they want to wire transfer us the money, to which then I would go ahead and send them the Bitcoin. But typically it's not even, I catch it. Obviously, we don't want to be involved in these sort of actions, but we catch it before it goes to the scammer because we ask them enough questions. And I got to tell you, like, it's every day. And we're just a small company in Edmonton, Alberta. We're not big. I'm speaking to 3 to 5 customers that are being coached from scam companies to contact different Bitcoin companies in Canada. I'm sure it's all of them. I'm sure we're all having the same problem. And we got to make sure these people don't lose their money. So lately, I've been trying to come up with ideas or companies that could possibly be created in order to help the elderly people in Canada not get scammed. Because if I'm catching them, there's got to be way more that are going through. And I don't know if you heard about the pig butchering in Cambodia and, this place where they literally have, whether it's hundreds or tens of people in like cages with barbed wire fence, and all they can do is talk on WhatsApp. And it typically is going to North American people, like Canadians and Americans, and they're just talking with them all day. The average customer I talk to has been dealing with a financial advisor, a Bitcoin advisor, for anywhere between 2 weeks to 6 weeks to 8 weeks. And they talk to them every single day. They become their best friends. Some of them pretend to be women and are interested in other things, which is unfortunate as well. And then inevitably they think they're their friends. And these people just fall for it every single time.
Yeah. All too common. And I would say my rule of thumb, am I perfect? No, but this is my rule of thumb and my advice for everybody in every situation. If a company calls you or contacts you and wants something, whether it's a phone company, whether it's a utility company, whether it's a Bitcoin company, or is trying to sell you something, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The key takeaway is do not give any information when they call you. Always call them back. And there's only one right way to do this. Go and Google the site, the official site yourself. Always Google it, the official site. Make sure it's the official site. And then get the contact information from that official site.
So
then call back.
I've been on several of these websites, because the customers have inevitably tell me, like, here's the name of the website. One of the other ones the other day was enterprise2u.com. And you go to the website, and if you weren't young, potentially, and I'm not trying to be
An ageist,
if that's what the word is. But they go on the website, they see all the positive reviews, which are all fake. They see how much money has been made. They see the transactions. They see the pretty little pictures. We could create this website in 5 minutes on any AI app. And they're typically from Switzerland. And the actual customers that are calling me, telling me the websites, say, oh, we'll just go to this website and check it out. And I'm like, my God. The second I see it, I know. Within 1 second. But they're just not. I mean, you have to realize there's a big difference between a 42-year-old and an 84-year-old. Like, what we think is just normal and we can spot something that's a scam, they don't. And I don't know how to help them. And maybe we'll have some comments in the YouTube that are ideas to help them. But I think this is actually something the Bitcoin community needs to take very, very seriously. I'd come up with a plan, whether it's Canadians or North American Bitcoiners, and I think we actually have to advertise the fact that if you're in crypto and you think you're making an investment, that you need to reach out to this organization. And somehow this organization has the backing from, whether it's the government or not. I'm not a big government guy, but maybe that's what it would take for the old people to believe, like, hey, like, listen to these people before you invest your money. Like, it should be on the news. It should be on when we're watching hockey games. Wherever the eyes are of the elderly people.
That's right.
That's where this message should be like, before you invest in blah, 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 call 1-800. Whatever it is. But if they were just to talk to a person like you, like a Bitcoiner like you or me or any of our Bitcoin friends, we would catch it in 1 second.
Yeah.
But over the last 5 days, it's in the millions of dollars. And that's just me dealing with a few customers. So imagine how many you're getting through. Like, how did the United States take 127,000 Bitcoin, I think it was, from this Cambodia ring? Well, those 127,000 Bitcoins that they have were all stolen
through exchanges
from North American people that were a little bit older than us. And that's all that money could have gone into Bitcoin properly. Instead, it did.
Yeah. So I would say I'll get my tinfoil hat out, okay, here a little bit. Sorry, Casey. My issue here, my biggest issue here is I'm a very much a self-responsibility person. But the government's handheld everybody for the last 50 years in North America on every little thing. Ironically, they have not held anybody's hand on crypto. What positive information have you ever seen from a government on cryptocurrencies? There is none. There's actually none. And I would say, like to your point, there needs to be a government agency. I mean, not that I'm in favor of more government agencies. But I'm kind of with you on where you're going with this, for the elderly to keep up with the times on this stuff. I mean, and basically all that government agency would do. I mean, we ship enough of our tax monies overseas. We could just use some of that money and just run daily ads on all radio stations, all news outlets. That's where these people are going to hear about it, right? And just a small amount of money, like, I don't mean $1 million. I mean a couple tens of millions of dollars. Sure. Just run ads on all these government, CBC, CNBC, whatever it is, everything,
Facebook,
right?
Instagram,
everything.
TikTok.
Well, but those don't even matter, because the people on those are probably tech savvy enough to it's the people, 90% of the people watching the news and watching, watching mainstream media, which I'm not a fan of. Those are the people that are getting screwed by this, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So,
I mean, I talked to them, so I say, like,
yeah.
like, I often ask them, because they've been talking to them for, let's say 3 months, and I'm talking to Joey here, and he goes, and I ask him, I said, well, like, how did you find this person? Like, how did you find this
Yeah.
Bitcoin investor guy that's
Yeah.
helping you make all this money? And they're like, 99.9% of the time, they can't fucking remember. They literally can't remember.
Really?
And so what I've known to happen is that these people will have sent them a wallet. It looks like we have Murdoch in the house here.
Okay. Hello. How's it going? But what is that?
Well, I'm obviously Satoshi, Samurai Satoshi from Satoshi's Heroes.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, welcome, Murdoch. We appreciate you being on our pod. We haven't done this in a while, but it's nice to have a guest. I don't know if you were hearing about the scam talk we were just talking. Did you hear by chance? Or any thoughts? Any ideas on what
scammers are going to scam, and they're going to get a lot more intelligent, especially in the age of AI. And watch out.
Watch out.
And some of the really good advice I heard from Michelle Weekly last week when I was at the Canadian Bitcoin conference. She mentioned basically those around you and those you care about in an offline way, only in person, come up with a AI safe word, because those, your voices, you guys have a podcast, my voice right now can be cloned, and they sound pretty friggin' convincing nowadays. All you need's a minute worth of footage.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So be sure to consider that, I suppose.
Okay, so I know we spoke about this yesterday, but in my personal life, like, I've obviously had kids and girlfriend and family members, and I think that's actually really wise, is to just come up with a very, very unique word that we don't share with anybody, that would have to do with anything that's over voice, right? Is that kind of the gist of it?
Yep, that's pretty much the gist.
I've heard of this actually a number of years ago. I heard about this it wasn't Bitcoin related, but I did hear about this because of all these, text or speech imitating software and stuff now.
Yeah.
Anybody can scam anything. It's crazy.
And then you can use a service such as, I think it's called Twilio, and that's how you connect it to actually make real world phone calls.
Yeah.
To like your cell phone number.
Yeah. Wow. The tech is crazy, and AI is getting crazy.
Well, another kind of topic that I wanted to potentially talk about today was Edmonton. That's where I reside myself personally, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and we don't have enough people accepting Bitcoin. How do we fix this, guys?
Funny enough, I have a new initiative that I'm trying to help coordinate here, and I just got a text back from another Bitcoiner in the city here this morning, and we're gonna try and set up a small group of like-minded Bitcoiners to go and see if we can get some more businesses onboarded for daily purchases and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. It might be a little slow in the beginning here, but hopefully we can get that going. But that's on a local front. I would say on a more wider front, one thing that's very positive in the Bitcoin space is Square, the company Square in the US is launching it's that's the point of sales terminals, Square, that they're everywhere. They're white. You see them
farmers
everywhere.
markets. Yeah.
And they're going to start accepting Bitcoin and where the customer pays in Bitcoin, the merchant does not even know, but the merchant on their end also has an option to put a portion of that into Bitcoin on their end. This is groundbreaking and probably I think Square's Jack Dorsey. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Square's
Yeah,
Jack Dorsey.
They have 4 million terminals.
Yeah, and I would say if this works out to as it's expected to, this is going to be the biggest thing for Bitcoin adoption as far as sales and buying things of anything in the world we've seen yet.
Yeah, I just hope it works in Canada.
And
I just haven't heard that news
Exactly.
yet. But
I haven't seen Canadian.
I don't think it's going to go live in Canada initially. I mean, I hope it's worldwide within 6 months to a year, but we'll see. I think the US is coming right away, though. Hey, Murph? I don't know the date, but I think it's within a month here or so. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did say that the merchant wouldn't even know you're paying in Bitcoin. How would that be possible? Do they plan on having and implementing an NFC, just tap and go type thing from maybe their own wallet, or because otherwise it would have to be a QR code?
No, I think.
So I don't know that's what I heard. So I'm not by any means an expert on this stuff. So I don't know for sure, but that's what I heard, how it's going to work out. Either way, I mean, even if you have to click a pay with Bitcoin button, who cares? I mean, everybody's going to do it. I'm going to do it everywhere I see it.
No, I think the way it works from what I've seen is that, let's say in a restaurant, when you hand the terminal to the actual customer, that there's actually option where it actually pops up and it just says the word Bitcoin. So every time somebody goes to pay for something now, they're at least going to see the option that Bitcoin is there.
There you go.
And me as the person eating at the restaurant would then choose Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Then it would pull up the QR code. I would scan it, add tip, do whatever. Then in the background, depending on how the merchant has set it up, that would either all get converted into fiat, or they have the option, from what I understand, I think I'm right. They have the option to say, every time somebody pays in Bitcoin, I want to keep 10% in Bitcoin and just put 90% to fiat because I got to pay my bills and I got to pay the waitress and I got to do all that. And that's what I've seen, which is absolutely incredible.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, how it would work out.
Yeah.
Any other exciting topics or things to talk about before we wrap up here in a little bit?
Well, let's talk about treasury companies. We got Murph on board here, so let's talk about treasury companies. What do you think about MSTR there, Murph, and all the other treasury companies?
I think all these paper Bitcoin maxis and those adjacent, in addition to any ketchup-loving folks, should keep that to themselves because it's embarrassing to those of us that are here for the tech.
You're here for the tech? I thought your number go up.
That is a nice side benefit.
So it's
okay. So on that, Murph. Okay, now to get a little bit more serious, because I do know that's your opinion on it, and that's I'm getting closer to your lines on that than ever before.
Me too.
Especially seeing how we are watching all these treasury companies implode. But why would you say why would you tell people to invest in Bitcoin? There's a little bit more of a hurdle there than investing through your stocks into treasury companies and whatnot. What's your reason for that, and how would you sell somebody on that is relatively new to Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is the money. That's as simple as it gets.
And I won't play the devil's advocate, catch up Maxi, but I will. That's my job, I guess. Buying Bitcoin is always number one, cold storage. Cold storage, cold storage,
Yes.
cold storage.
100%. Yeah.
Having said that,
Yes.
when we were speaking earlier about and I've been thinking about this, so I'm just throwing it out there. I've been thinking about my 83-year-old friend who lives just down the way, who wants to purchase a large sum, in my mind, of Bitcoin.
Yes.
But he is definitely not capable of setting up a cold storage wallet. He barely knows how to use his cell phone to text message. So in that case, and let's say they don't have any family members, because for some reason, a lot of the people I speak to don't have a lot of family or friends. They're in their 80s. They're at home alone. They have the
Yeah.
internet, and that's it. How as Bitcoiners do we go about getting them involved in this protocol and community? And because they want to invest in it, they want to invest in it so badly. But I don't think I could get him to get a cold storage and trust him with the 12 words.
No. In a scenario like that, I guess an ETF would be your runner-up, or something in Wealthsimple maybe, just for the price exposure. But then, there are merchants in the real world that, like Great Gee, for example, Alberta HODL for another. These guys only accept Bitcoin payments. So, I mean, they're going to be locked out of a small number of vendors from that kind of thing. And like myself, I do media production in the space. And in a scenario like that, they would have to pay a fiat premium instead of a Bitcoin discount. So that's some real world use cases.
Yeah. I mean, I just looking at this older generation, and I love them because they're actually the people that have a lot of the money to invest in Bitcoin, and going, okay, well, how do I tell them that, yes, Bitcoin is the answer, but, maybe cold storage isn't for you? It's a hard thing to grasp with when it's your job is to help people buy Bitcoin, and it's safe and secure, because a lot of these people, if they were to pass away, you have to think about inheritance with Bitcoin, right?
Yes.
That's a whole other thing.
So
Maybe a device as simple as Bitkey, which just in the last couple of days announced some privacy preserving features. Of course, that's only if it's in a multi-sig wallet scenario, which again is probably too much for this kind of person.
Okay.
Probably just a single sig Bitkey where you are divulging the amount to a third party. Of course, it's encrypted and everything, allegedly. So maybe that's like the best kind of option, because then they'd still be able to use and spend Bitcoin and carry it on to their heirs.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've suggested Bitkey in the past. I've touched one. I've used one. I mean, it's pretty darn easy, and it's easy to use, hard to lose.
What about I don't exactly remember how they all work. It's been a while since I've looked into them, but like institutional custody solution or something like that, where would they walk you through that enough for somebody like an elderly person? Do you think that would be a better option? Maybe
like a company like OnRamp is probably the best
Yeah.
one that I know. It's multi-institutional. It's
yeah, that's kind
somewhere
of
where
where I
you
was
can
thinking.
jump on a video call like
Yeah.
we're doing today, and they can hold up the device and say, okay, this
Yeah.
is what you do, and here's how you use it.
And then how does that? Correct me if I'm wrong, Casey, or help me out here. Trying to remember, but how does that work as far as like, do they have to still hold a few keys, or do they hold one key, and how does OnRamp work, or do they just call up OnRamp when they need to?
You're just going to call it, like, for somebody who's 84 years old.
Yeah, you're just calling it
$100,000 in Bitcoin
yeah,
life savings. You call a person.
So you know what?
And that's the service you're paying for. Really.
That's what you do then in that situation for the security, for the best security. Sure, you're trusting people, and that's not really what Bitcoin's about. And I get to your point, Murph, on that, but I just don't really see a world where that you're gonna, unless we get like the Bitkey is a great option, but I don't even know if the Bitkey is something I would I would sell my grandpa, right? Like
It's
at 90
it's
years old. Like it's probably not.
But here's the thing. So like, let's say somebody, an 84-year-old wants to invest in Bitcoin. You and I, all of us know who OnRamp is or who BitKey
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Do you know how
That's
long it took us before we actually had 10 names of companies that we trusted versus somebody brand new, just
yeah,
80 years old, wants to buy Bitcoin, jumps on the internet. They're not going to find them. They're going to
yeah.
find the scammers.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's
You're
the problem.
100% right. So what you're kind of saying, like back to the scam point there, Casey, is you're saying we need an organization that is very public, that a super public facing organization that basically when somebody's looking into Bitcoin / cryptocurrencies, it's, the first prominent thing they see, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like,
then and they don't necessarily do any services. They just, other than just direct people to different locations.
I mean, I'm open to any suggestion right now, but I'll just tell you a normal thing that happens on a day-to-day basis. I'll talk to a customer. They want to buy $100,000 of Bitcoin. They have a hot wallet, but I explain what a cold storage device is. And now, in my personal job, I can't really tell them which one to buy because that's just not allowed in this country. But I've been just sending them to bitcoin.org because that is a great place where somebody can go and walk through the steps of here's what I want out of a cold storage device, right? So it's like, that's a great website and a great education tool to have, but a lot of people don't want to do the work. They want to just be able to call 1-800 and say, hey, but we need to be able, the legal side needs to be able to say, hey, Casey can say that BitKey is good if you want this, or OnRamp is good if you want that, or Swan or whomever. It doesn't matter. Just making companies, like just saying companies that I know. Or Foundation Passport or Ledger or Trezor or BitKey only right? So it's like,
Sure.
there just doesn't exist. Like, because I just want to be able to do that for them and just say, hey, go here and figure it out.
For something that I've for myself and somebody that's like a bit tech savvy, I'm not like crazy tech savvy, don't get me wrong, but somebody that's a little bit tech savvy, I would say Nunchuck. For holding your Bitcoin, I'd say Nunchuck. It's relatively cheap. There's good cheap options, and you can get ones that get free options actually. And it's very trusted in the space. I mean, I'm trusting it with, a fair bit, and I like them. So that would be the one I would shoot people.
Yeah, as mentioned, probably BitKey if it's someone super simple. If you're a little more advanced, Foundation's a great product with the Passport.
Foundation, yeah, that's what I use. Yeah,
I don't think they have too bad of a negative name, but yet anyway, Trezor's another great, relatively easy option.
Easy to use.
And then of course there's Canadian company called Cold Card, but that's if you're like
that's pretty
a little
tech
more
savvy.
advanced.
Yeah,
very tech savvy.
Yeah, I've tried it and it's not for me. It's I go down a notch to the Foundation Passport. It's super simple. But if you are a tech savvy, Cold Card Q is probably the what would you call it, the gold choice in the space.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. World,
Bitcoin world, Casey, Bitcoin world.
Don't buy ketchup stocks.
No
ketchup stocks.
I think Heinz is up on the day though. Might be down in the 5-year, the 1 year, 6 month, and 1 month trend, but it might be up on the day, Murph.
Hey, just lever along a in your Robinhood ketchup.
Heinz.
Fiat gains equal fiat losses.
Well, boy,
that's true.
It's been a pleasure. I think that's a great place to leave off, and we'll see all you boys next week. And thanks for joining, Murdoch.
Yeah, thanks, Murdoch.
And it's been a pleasure, boys. And just stay humble and stack sats.
Yes, sir.
The best thing I can say.
Good sound advice.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
So long.